First up, look at that. We got to change up the setting on it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you hear me? Everything's testing well. Can you hear me? I'm not even going to get into stuff until I know for sure that you can see me and that you can hear me because last night was a debacle and a half. And it should be good to go. Um we don't know. We just got to wait until we hear from you. As you can tell, I'm super excited to know if you can hear me. So that's what we're doing first. There's a little delay. So yes, we can see and hear. Oh, so you know what that means? That means that we can go. Yes, we can do that. Oh, we got sound effects now. So when Brian tells a bad joke, when Brian tells a funny joke, and when I say something, probably inappropriate, we got sound now. All right, I'm super excited. We got all of that working. Whoo! Welcome, welcome, welcome to October, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You want to know why? Fourth quarter. Fourth quarter starts today. Today, folks. We're all about this holiday push, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you have a successful fourth quarter. First time here, long time here. Let me tell you what we do. We go over some topical things. Today, we're talking about confidence in selling, breaking out of that friends and family circle. We're going to talk about that. If it's your first time here or long time here, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is like in your area, and most importantly, your five things that you're going to accomplish today. Dude, I don't know. We've got a list. We've got a list. It's the beginning of the month, so we've got bills that need to be paid, invoices that need to be done. We've got meetings that need to happen. We've got orders that need to be shipped. We've got shirts that need to be pressed. Those are probably the biggest things that need to happen today. What are your five things? As far as what's in the cup, we got the Galaxy Vibe Celsius, sparkling strawberry watermelon bishop. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. And of course, we're chasing that with some water, not vodka. So that's what we got. Weather, it's gorgeous. We're going to get up to, I think, 90s, 89. What are we getting up to today? It's for October ridiculousness. Like, ridiculousness. I will not complain. It's 60 degrees right now, and we are headed to a high of, only a high 84 today, but then 89 and 90 and 90 and 88, 9 for there. So, yeah, it doesn't look like we get out of the 80s until next weekend. So that's what we got. Okay, let's check in. Danielle, good morning to you. Kevin, good morning to you. Unbiased, good morning to you. Renee, hello from 65 in Chicago. I'm on the way to 78. What's wild, Renee, is you're 5 degrees warmer than this, and you're only getting to 78. We're 60. We're going to get to like 80. What I say, 88 today? Well, it's wild. Nothing like some nice, cool October weather. Water in the bottle, coffee in the cup, getting my top five sorted. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. Sunny Florida there. Barb, good morning. Beautiful north central Minnesota, 63, sunny. Water in the cup, five things: quotes, design layouts, sewing alterations, digitizing, and 3D printing. Very good day there for Barb. Morning, Jerry. And yes, be sure to hit that like button. I would much rather hit the share button. Get that out there, everyone. Keith, good morning to you from the Space Coast in sunny Space Coast in Florida. Hi, Chuck, Todd, Kevin, and all from Jerry. Let's see. Morning, Barb, Chuck. Yes to sound. That's what I saw. We're good to go. Hey, Jerry, over on the other channel. So far until it goes. Wow, how did you manage to get so high tech? Because it's part of StreamYard now. And after last night's debacle of I had to reset everything, and then I had to go in and reconfigure sound settings in the system itself. The switcher that I use, the hub, something happened inside of that. And so I grabbed another hub, pulled out stuff, put it in there, and that seemed to help. So I was crossing fingers everything was going to work this morning. I guess it can't just turn off lights and go dark because it does not like that. And if you missed last night's show and you're wondering what happened, well, go back and watch it. But we went ahead and launched for us the Caesar Glow line that they have, where they have five colors, where it's a pink, a yellow, an orange, a blue, and a yellow, right? Yellow, green, pink, orange blue, and then their traditional white that they have. So we launched those. We put together a bundle pack. I think there's only 2 or 3 bundle packs left. There's not a whole lot. Anybody that got multiples, we're not cutting you 2 separate 1 foot sheets. If you got 2 of them, we're cutting those so you get 2 foot, so you get a continuous fit of those. But the colors on it, fantabulous. That's the design that we did last night. You can actually go purchase this design. You can go purchase this. It's all glow in the dark. We did lights on, lights off, so you can see the how it looked in there. When we were done with the live last night, we went on a golf cart ride and went stopped by 2 of our friends' houses because it was dark. And one's really Halloween, one's very sugar skull. And so we're like, hey, come outside. And they're like, oh my God, that is the coolest thing ever because, Corey had it charged and it was completely black. And then you just saw this floated thing. It's like, okay, what do we need to do to get those? Turned out fantabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and I will put I'll put the link to the SVG file that you can purchase in the comments there, so you can go check that out. There's this skull and 4 other skulls that are in there that you can able to get for that, and then I will put in the link for the glow. If you make that purchase here this morning, make sure it ships out today too. So, hey, you can start playing with the glow. And then, as we talked about going into next week for things, we're going to do the same set. We're going to do Caesar's new glitter puff. Like the next couple weeks, pure HTV, glitter puff, and rhinestones. Just depends on when orders come in on things. So, we're going to rock and roll through all of that. I'm going to go through, start working on changing this into a stone design. Yeah, how about damn apples? A stone design for that. I'm pretty excited about how we can have some fun with that. It'll, like if we break it up and this has 6 colors in it, that's a lot of templates, baby. That's a lot of templates, but man, oh man, is it going to be pretty sweet, at least in my head. It's going to be pretty sweet. So we're working through that. Let's see, where was it there? Um, uh, when you have a great sale, hey, we're working on stuff for Black Friday. We've got meetings with vendors over the next few weeks to um, get their deals, so we can work with our deals and go from there. And that good morning, first time here from Central Florida. Well, thanks for joining us. Hey, that's why I tell people you just have to go through, right? Don't be scared to go live. Don't go scared to get on any of those platforms, because things screw up all the time. I screwed up on this shirt, had to use some VLR for it. Hey, things happen. We lost mics. We made signs. We figured out a way around it. You just make it happen. And that's where people understand, oh man, this is a real person doing real stuff. So yeah, go for it. Sharon, good morning to you. Going to Impressions Expo tomorrow. Oh, in Fort Worth, right? Is that, yeah, because we got Impressions there, and then we've got Printing United in 2 weeks. Woo, there. Gabriella, what time is it over there in Italy? We just talked to you last night, so that was like 12 hours ago. What time is it now over there? We're in the high 80s the next 4 days. There, this is a cool step. That is right. Precious, good morning to you, Southern Illinois. All the way down there. Um, God, you just said it all in one breath. I mean, now I'll have to hit replay on live. Ohio. All right. I try and get good about um, taking a breath. Sometimes it's hard. Ohio's got mid 60s there. Cinnamon tea in the cup. Prepping dog food. Like just opening the bag and pouring it out. I need to understand this prepping the dog food of things. There's the links. Right click, copy paste. You can go get the links to all the stuff in there for it. Uh, Star, good morning to you. Rustling, hello, crew. I have a question on DTF transfers. I got look all wrinkly after 2 wash. Did I do something wrong? Pre-press your shirts. That seems to be the biggest issue, is moisture in the shirts, and as that dries out, it shrinks things. Happens in HTV, happens in DTF, happens in screen printing. Pre-press your shirts to make sure you get all the moisture out of it, because if not, you can have that. Because what's happening is that fabric is on, the print is going on a fabric, right? Well, if there's moisture in it and it shrinks, then that's what's happening, is that it's pulling in, that's causing the wrinkle and pucker effect. So, and rest, it says wash in cold water inside out and didn't dry them. Ooh, mm, mm. Didn't dry them. You hung to dry, so you should be fine with that. Send me pictures. Send me pictures and we'll see if we can diagnose it. But usually what it is the pre-press moisture in the garment, and then the drying process sucks it in, but you didn't dry. So interesting to know. So anyone here in Dallas for the Impressions Expo? Who's there? I got friends there. Have a serious case of FOMO because I'm not going to that one. 7 hours ahead of us. So 7 hours ahead. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, for doing that. So it's 3:41. All right, got it. I did pre-press. Mm. Because usually nothing will change unless it's through a dryer and you do that. So yeah, send me pictures and let's see if we can diagnose that, because those are my go-tos. You already took care of washing inside out and not throwing it through the dryer. You already took care of pre-pressing. Hmm. Yeah, let's see what we can figure out with that. Raymond, good morning to you. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day in the neighborhood it is. And Raymond, I'm going to your orders, because we're going to combine ship your orders, and we're going to take the shipping and do a credit on your account for that, because you had 3 orders yesterday. I've already pulled them, have them all set together for it. Hopefully that works for you. So we'll be able to do that. On that, I usually do 2-3 seconds. 2-3 seconds is what I do on that. Is pre-press, and then it goes from there. If it's like a heavyweight hoodie, we've got some stuff where it, I'm not sure if this makes sense. That some of it might, but it almost felt humid, like damp. But it was just holding so much moisture in it. So those ones we had to go a little bit longer. It was like boom, here comes steam out of it. 7 hours ahead. We got that. And have you checked the actual temperature press? Good thing. Pre-press 2 seconds. Man, you should be. That's a good pre-press. So it should pull all the moisture out of that. Hmm. More pressure. And it could be more pressure. What I need to do is just see how everything looks with it, because on a wrinkle, or if it's a pucker, and that's kind of, I need to see the pictures. Send me the pictures and we can diagnose a little bit further. Because I can see, it makes sense when I can see it, then I can show you, and then we can go with that. But yes, heavy pressure, heavy pressure, pressure's your friend, man. You should be able to see the fabric through the print, not the texture of it, not the fabric itself. Man, I shouldn't have said it that way. Guillermo says I always pre-press. I must have pre-press. That's what it is there. Ooh. Are you all there? Is it everything this one out? No, Ned, it's not. But it's close. It is close. We in fact, last night, after the live and after we got back, I met with the development team. And there's still a few little quirky, weird things that it's doing. One of the things that it is not doing is it's not letting people cancel out. So if you want to opt out of things, it's just like, no, you can't do that. And it was because of how the product was set up. So there was that. We're still making sure some of the customer issue side of things are in place for it. And some of the features, there's no features being taken away, but there's features that we had on our schedule of like, we want to add this, this, and this, that aren't going to be added. But the great thing about a subscription model is, as soon as what's out, we know everything's good with it, then it goes from here. So current timeline for Wizard, if everything was 100% good to go today, all right, whatever day it is good to go on, it will most likely launch 2 weeks after that. And reason being is that way we can make the videos of the new things that's going on with it, and we can promote it. So that way we have there. Once that launches, we will still keep our 3-month window of service and support for that. So if it launches, tomorrow, then we go there. If it launches November 1st, it goes from there. I'm going to do everything in my power now that we have a way better handling of things than we did last month, to have this taken care of this month. So there's that with it. If you missed last night's live, I screwed everything up. There's a lot of things that didn't happen in September that were supposed to happen by October 1st that didn't happen, and we covered that. So we'll keep pushing through. We're normal. Things happen. We just want to make sure that our customers are taken care of first, that their orders are out, and then we go into the other thing for it. So that's what we got. Okay. So what do you say we get into it? We're going to talk about, confidence in selling, breaking out of that friends and family circle. Because I don't know about you, but when we were getting started, we were stuck in that circle of only selling to friends and family. So if you're in that, you're not alone. All right. Hey, it is really holding back your business because you're stuck in that circle. So we're gonna break down, how you can build confidence in selling, so you can approach more schools and businesses and new customers without panic. And the way we're gonna do that is how to reframe selling so it feels natural and not pushy. Easy ways to practice pitches without pressure. There's too many P's in that sentence for me. Practice pitches without pressure. Woo. A simple script to explain your business with confidence. How you can use mock or proofs, for mockups, testimonials, photos to back up your pitch. And then the biggest one, why rejection is part of the process and how to turn every no into progress. Because I'm telling you, you're gonna get no's. You're gonna get no's. You're gonna get no's, right? Did you marry the first person you dated? No. Because why? It turned out not working. It's just the way it works. Okay. So as we get into this, as we get into no, I say let's get into this. That's what we do. Let's get into this. Selling can be one of the scary, excuse me, scariest parts of running an apparel decorating business. It's one thing to sell to friends and family who already support you. But it's completely different challenge to walk into a school office, approach a business owner, or even pitch to a stranger at an event. And many decorators stay stuck in that safe zone, which keeps their business from growing. The fear of sounding salesy, fear of being rejected, or just simply not knowing what to say, it really keeps them from stepping into new opportunities. Truth is though, selling doesn't have to feel like begging. I made a sign last night, buy stuff so I can get a new mic. Wasn't the mic, but thanks for buying stuff. Hey, when you shift your perspective, when you prepare a few simple tools and when you practice consistently, confidence will start growing naturally. And confidence doesn't mean that you'll never feel nervous. The minute I stop feeling nervous about something is the minute I need to change what I'm doing. I feel nervous every time going live because I don't want to feel comfortable. I want to have that little, I like that little feeling. Anybody else get that? Feeling of going into sales things of nervous, the excitement. That feeling, I love it. You know, we just know how to keep going, despite those nerves. So, we'll go over 5 ways to help build confidence in selling so you can, finally break out of that friends and family circle and start landing those schools and businesses and bigger accounts. So, number one, let's reframe selling is helping. One of the biggest reasons people freeze up when they pitch is because they see selling as self-serving, right? They picture themselves as bothering somebody, asking for money or pushing unwanted product. And that mindset makes you nervous before you even open your mouth. The first step to building confidence is reframing selling as helping. All right. You're not just selling a shirt. We are providing a solution to a real problem. We've said it time and time again. If there was a problem, you'll solve it, right? Because that's what we are. We're solution providers, problem solvers. Schools need spiritware to boost pride and raise funds. Boom, gotcha. Businesses need uniforms to look professional and consistent. Boom, gotcha. Parents want easy way to support their kids without dealing with slow shipping. Boom, gotcha. You are the answer to all of those needs. When you reframe selling as helping, the conversation shifts. Instead of feeling like you're asking for something, you're offering value. You're providing a solution. You're saying, here's how I can make your life easier. That's a lot less intimidating than says, please buy from me. Okay. Once you truly internalize that you're helping and not bothering, you'll notice that your tone relaxes and your confidence grows. This reframing also positions you as a partner rather than a salesperson. You're just not in it for the transaction. You're there to make their lives simpler, faster, and better. That mindset change alone can take away half the fear you feel about pitching. So maybe this resonates with a few of us. PTO board was frustrated because their national supplier delivered hoodies after the season ended. Hmm, sound familiar? Local decorator reframed the pitch by saying, I help schools get spiritware on time so parents aren't disappointed. That approach, problem focused approach, won the account. Right? Landscaping business had mismatched shirts from different suppliers. Instead of pushing sales, decorator explained how branded polos could help their crew look professional and consistent, which builds customer trust. The business immediately saw the value in it. So, for this action step, write down 3 common problems that your products solve for schools, businesses, and individuals. Practice saying them out loud as solutions, not as sales pitches. All right. Numero 2. All right. Start small with practice pitches. All right. Confidence comes from repetition. You can't expect to feel comfortable pitching a school district if you've never practiced saying what you do to a stranger, right? The trick is to start small, in low pressure situations. Treat everyday conversations as practice pitches. When someone asks you, what do you do? Don't shrug it off. Use it as a chance to talk about your business in a clear, confident way. The goal is not to close a sale every single time. It's to get comfortable talking about your work. The more you say it, the less awkward it's going to feel. By practicing in casual settings, you take the fear out of the big ones. Think of it like training for a marathon. You don't start with running 26 miles. You start with thinking about running 26 miles. Then you might do a short jog around the block and continue on with it. So you're going to practice in low stakes settings, or practicing in low stakes settings also gives you room to experiment. You can test different ways of explaining your business and see what gets the best reaction. And then over time, you'll develop a version of your pitch that feels natural instead of rehearsed. So, some examples of this is, a decorator at their son's soccer game, had a team, wore a team shirt that they made. When another parent complimented it, instead of just saying thanks, replied, I actually made these and I help schools and teams set up spirit stores so parents can get gear like this without the hassle. That small change, or that small exchange led to an order, right? Number two, decorator coffee shop asked, was asked what they did instead of mumbling, I make shirts. What'd they say? I run a small print company that helps schools and businesses look professional. Oh, that sounds fancy. Tell me more. See, we're kidding. We're just putting stuff out there. So, action step for this is let's commit to 3 practice pitches this week in casual conversations. Use opportunities like games, grocery store lines, coffee shop chats, parent pickups. Just say what you do with confidence. All right. Numero 3. Is build a simple pitch script. Oh, excuse me. Fear often comes from not knowing what to say. That's why having this short script ready makes a huge difference. A script doesn't have to sound Mr. Robotic. Right? It's just simply a roadmap for what you want to say. Now, a good script will include 3 parts: who you help, how you help, and what makes you different. Once you can say that clearly in 1 or 2 sentences, pitching becomes much easier. Your script acts as your safety net when nerves hit. You know, even if your hands are shaking, right? You can lean on words that you've already practiced instead of stumbling, apologizing, or rambling on and on and on. You deliver a confident, clear message. And over time, that script will become second nature. Scripts are also going to give you consistency. Every customer you approach gets the same confident message. And what does that do? It just strengthens your brand. Whether you're talking to PTO president, a coach, or a small business owner, they hear the same professional introduction that sets you apart from hobbyists. So, some examples of this: decorator uses script. I help schools raise money with no cost spiritware stores. We handle everything so parents can focus on cheering from the stands. That simple sentence landed to multiple schools because it was clear and easy to remember. Another one pitched to businesses with we provide fast, no minimum orders so your team looks professional without the stress. That clarity helped them win over a small company who didn't want to order in bulk. So, action step for this: write one sentence. Excuse me. Write one sentence scripts for three audiences: schools, business, and individuals. And then practice until you can say each one confidently without pausing. Now, before we get on to 4 and 5, where are we? Questions, comments, concerns. I see some stuff in there. We hobbyists have a huge selection. That we do. Silly question. What's a good markup to put on your items you sell, percentage wise? As much as possible. As much as possible. Brian, I'm late, but Brian is ready for the sound effects. That wasn't even a bad boo. Ooh, drum, that was drum roll bog. There you go, Brian. We got some of that. Yay! Yay on us. We got that. All right, that's what it is. Um, all right. I am. Kevin, it really starts with knowing what your cost numbers are. That's right, Jerry. That's right. Jerry, if I know my cost, how much should I add for profit? As much as possible. Because to me, I want a minimum of 40%. I would really like 70%. But a lot of it comes down to on the product. Some things you can get way more for because it's the perceived value of it. So it's just not an easy, this is it with it, at least for us. Is there a rule of thumb for percentages to add the actual cost of products? I I don't like going below 40%. I did just quote Vanilla Ice. Thanks, Rustline. That's a good start. I get nervous. Did I miss Rustline's comment? Uh, I don't like cost by two because like I said, if something costs you 50 cents, that means you're only going to charge $1 for it. That's why I don't like a times two or a times three, because you can either be charging way too much for it, or you can be charging not enough for it. I get nervous whether my prices are too high or too low. If your prices are too high, you find new customers because they're not your customers. You charge your value worth it. A good example of this is we can go to the pick a place that we can go to Applebee's and we can get a steak for 17.99. That's for a dinner. I can go to the steakhouse and that same steak at that same size and that same type of steak is going to cost me $75. Why? We're paying for the experience. It's still a piece of steak that I'm going to poop out tomorrow, but I'm paying for the experience with it. Um, let's see. It's even better. We have to remember not only the cost of materials, but our time. Yes, our valuable, valuable, valuable time. Kevin, most use a percentage, 30 to 40%. That's only a ballpark. 40% is where I like to be on that. I shared a spreadsheet in the mentorship group that I use. It helps a lot. Uh, I did help Jerry figure this out. And mentorship group is really close. I think by the end of the week, everything will transfer over and we'll start doing that. I gotta meet with the team on that as well. Uh, Kevin, if a hoodie costs $6 and you add vinyl ink and you use the design, the cost of the heat press, the paper, you need to pay yourself. Pay yourself. Where's the button? Where's the button? Right here. Pay yourself. Yes, pay yourself. Pay yourself. That's what we're talking about. And that's what we need to do. Uh, Hobby has turned into a business. That's how a lot of us, Kevin. We did not wake up that we're going to be apparel decorators. I don't want to overcharge them, yet I don't want to lose money. If nobody's complaining about your prices, you are nowhere near overcharging on anything. Nowhere near overcharging on it. I, she's in another country, so that's where she can get from. And on some stuff, we've got a couple suppliers that we can get in bulk. We can get hoodies that are pretty cheap down on that level with it, but we're buying a bunch with it. Um, Let's see. Is it more expensive over there? I didn't know things were get closer to you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what we're all here for, to help each other grow and do better with it. Let's see. Hi all. Brian. Brian's back in there. He's getting into it. All right. Let's get back into it. Number 4. We're going to collect proof to boost confidence. What does that even mean? Well, even with a great script, nerves creep in when you feel like you have nothing to show. Right? That's why building A simple portfolio. We talked about this a few weeks back, right? And doing all that. Go back and find that episode. That's what I like to call confidence boosters. It's super important. Your portfolio does not have to be huge. It can be mock-ups, photos or sample shirts, or screenshots of customer testimonials. The goal is to give you something tangible to point when pitching. That's why, traditionally we always wear our stuff. When we did these for baseball, yep, we went ahead and got one, and people love it. They love how heavyweight this is. Last night when we made this one, we're showing that off. We're going to have pictures of it in, as it is as a normal one. And then when it's dark to show that off, we've got 4 different designs for it. And we're not even trying to do retail stuff anymore, but we're still going to show this off. Why? So you guys can use that and to show the things off. Use the pictures that we're able to provide for it. We've got, Hudson picked out Frankenstein. He wants Frankenstein all green. Hattie picked out a witch, so she's going to do that as pink. I like the scarecrow, so I'm going to do him as orange. And then the other skull, I think Corey's going to try in blue. So we can just go ahead and do that. Just that's all you got to do, right? And, when you have proof of what you do, the pressure shifts from you to your work. Instead of feeling like you're trying to convince someone, you're simply showing them what you do. And this not only makes you more confident, it's potential it makes potential customers more confident in you. People trust what they can see. A portfolio also helps you look prepared and professional. you know Even if you're new and don't have dozens of accounts yet, mock-ups and samples show that you're serious. The act of flipping through a binder or pulling up a slideshow on your phone instantly makes you feel more legitimate, which boosts confidence on both sides of the conversation. Right? So, we know a decorator who used Canva, and they created mock-ups of school shirts and had everything right there on their phone. And when talking to a PTO member, just flip through them quickly. Yep, and the PTO could visualize what spirit wear would look like for their school. Another one took screenshots of Facebook comments from happy parents and just kept them in the notes. And they were showing those testimonials when in their they were using those testimonials in their social media posting, and showing those gave them confidence that we had proof that we had customer satisfaction. So we need to create the action step, right? The action step for this is we need to create a confidence portfolio with at least 5 photos, mock-ups, or testimonials. Save it on your phone or print it out and put it right next to your wall, right next to your screen, wherever it is, so that way you can see it at a moment's notice and help build your confidence for it. Now, numeral 5. Numeral 5. Expect and accept no's. Okay? One of the biggest killers of confidence is the fear of rejection. Anybody else get that? Many decorators avoid pitching because they simply just don't want to hear no. But the reality of it is, no's are just part of the process. Every single business hears no's, even the most successful ones. Instead of letting no's crush your confidence, just learn to see them as a step towards a yes. Each no gives you valuable feedback. Maybe the school already has a contract, or maybe the business doesn't have the budget. That doesn't mean the pitch was bad. It just means that it wasn't the right customer at the right time. So by reframing rejection as feedback, you just take the sting out of it and keep moving forward. Okay? Confidence grows when you keep going despite the no's. The more you pitch, the more comfortable you get, and eventually the yeses start coming. Every no is simply practice and progress. The only true failure is not trying at all. Now, some examples of this. The school told the decorator no because they were locked into a contract. And looking at you, BSN. Instead of quitting, she marked her calendar and followed up the next year. When school got frustrated with late deliveries, she was there and they switched. Okay. You know, Another one, a business said no because they didn't have the budget. That same decorator moved on, landed a bigger account with a local restaurant chain. The earlier rejection had prepared them for success. So, action step for this: track your pitches. For every no, write down what you learned and how you can improve. So, just treat each no as practice that moves you closer to your next yes. All right. To recap all these, all right, selling outside of your friends and family can feel 100% scary. But with the right mindset and tools, it will get easier. It does get easier. So, 5 ways that we can build the confidence in selling is reframe selling is helping, start small with practice pitches, build a simple pitch script, collect proof to boost confidence, and expect and accept the no's. Because the more you practice, the more confident you'll become. And remember, you are not just selling shirts. You are a problem solver. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. If there's a problem, you'll solve it. You're building pride, you're creating opportunities for schools, businesses, and families. You know, confidence in selling doesn't come overnight, but it does come with practice. Each pitch is going to build your skills. Each no teaches you something new, and each yes grows your business. So don't stay stuck in the safe bubble, just selling to friends and family. Step out of it. Pitch with confidence and watch your business grow in ways that you never thought were possible. And that, my friends, is what we have for you today on this Monday, October 1st. Questions, comments, concerns. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Our next episode on Friday is we're going to talk about mock-up madness. Endless revisions, change the font. Can we see it with glitter? How about just one more vision? Yeah, we're gonna, talk about how to handle those revisions without losing your GD mind, because I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. So that's what we're talking there. All right, let's see questions, comments, concerns in here with it before we get out of here for the day. Jerry started in '99. Never thought I'd still be doing this as a business now. Yeah, Jerry's been rocking and rolling. Um, let's see, Jerry. I will be asking for help in the future. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love when you guys help each other out. Had to take a call. I'll catch the rest on the replay on the delay. That's right. And then you ask your questions in there, Renee. Is it better to actually show finished product samples or mock-ups? Depends on what you're going to do. We do both. We'll show finished ones and we'll show mock-ups. We do a lot of mock-ups in the digital side of things, and then when we make it, then we'll take pictures of that to create it for it. Does that make sense? So we'll use a digital mock-up. We just did one. For, let's see if I can show you a quick imagery right here, because the team wanted um, the info guys. Hey, we like our script logo. We are doing a breast cancer awareness shirt. Is there a way to incorporate it in there with it? Let me see what you got. So what we did was we just did a mock-up and we put the ribbon in the eye for it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And like I said, I wanted something in there with a ribbon, and I said, look closer. And they're like, "Oh, it's right there. I didn't even see it. I like how that looks." So, we'll do a digital mock-up, and then once it's done, then we take pictures of it. A lot of stuff we'll make for ourselves. Great example of it. Made this for ourselves. Show off our new product. You can see it digitally, but it won't have the same effect as having the actual pictures of it. So we'll do things like that with it. Seriously, when I started, no one wanted to help me. Same, Jerry. And it was frustrating. And if you guys can avoid it, I will absolutely. I remember that. Yep. And many distributors allow you to copy their graphics to use for mockups. Like when our Gangify stuff is available, you'll be able to use our mockups as your mockups. We do that all the time. Yeah, that's right. I wear what I make like a walking billboard. Same. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. That's right, baby. Renee is super popular. I feel it's hard to make rhinestone mockups that look good or that's my struggle. Well, if that's your struggle, what are you using? What program are you using? Because I feel that that's where the wizard really has an edge on things. And for those that don't know, that's our software where we can create realistic looking mock-ups that will give rhinestones in place of it. We can add little bling stars with it. It's pretty legit for it. Very helpful. Let's see. Very click that one. Very helpful. Jerry doesn't know. Jerry doesn't know. Yeah, Jeff nailed it. A YouTuber, Brand Ho, wore his shirt to Disneyland within an hour. He had 30 orders. Does not surprise me at all with that. You're welcome, Jerry. Yes, I have the wizard, and they are much better, but still not the same. Yeah, and there's AI services out there where you can take your designs and it puts it on, so it gives it more of that realistic look. It'll kind of you see how this kind of has creases and things like that. Where it'll do it, and it'll have on people, and so there's a I don't know what is it, mock up it, place it is a pretty decent one where you can do things like that where create more of the realistic mock-ups on there. So yeah, that's what we got for. Okay. With that, we've got our mentorship call starting in 16 minutes that I need to go get ready for that. That is going to reopen here soon. It'll be on the new platform. Everything will be over there. We'll get you guys the stuff for it. If you are a YouTube member, that what you're already paying on that membership will apply to your new one because that way we can combine it stuff. Our OG members, you guys are getting rockstar discounts on it, so don't think that applies to you. But everything else is going to apply to it. So you guys have an amazing day. Was it a good show? I think it was a good show. I think it was a lot more this. Oh, it was a lot more of this. We had a good amount of these. But now I'm a little thirsty. We're going to go with some water. All right. You guys have an amazing day. And until next time, peace, love, press on. We will see you then.